Hi everyone, my name is Neerav Kumar. I'm GenAI architect and Microsoft certified trainer. Welcome to my video Learn Generative AI and Agentic AI in 3 months. Today, many companies are quickly adopting generative AI. Because of this, learning GenAI is no longer optional. It has become very important for everyone. And because of that, a lot of people reach out to me and they ask some questions like how to learn GenAI, where they can start, and how long it will take. And it can feel confusing because there are so many courses available online, offline. Many of them even claim you can become an expert in just a few days or week, which is not realistic. This video is made to clear that confusion and give you simple, honest guidance. In this session, we will discuss what exactly should you learn, where should you begin your journey, and how long does it really take to master it. By the end of this video, you will gain clarity on what to learn, where to begin, and how long your learning journey might take. There are some prerequisites. You should have basic knowledge of Python. You should have foundational knowledge of any of the cloud, Azure, AWS, GCP, and you must have subscription of either OpenAI, Azure, AWS, or GCP, or some access to some LLM, which you can use in your applications. In case you don't have this knowledge, of course, you need to spend some time to learn it. Maybe around 15 days you will take to have some basic knowledge of these two. This 3 month learning path or 12-week or 90 days learning path will take around 150 hours. And I have divided into 3 phases. First month, we will learn AI concepts and fundamentals. Second month, we will develop small real world applications. And third month, we will design application that can be moved to production. So month one, what we are going to learn, we will have some knowledge about basic of artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, or generative AI. Some basic knowledge about neural network. Then there are different types of neural network. We will go through it, especially transformer architecture, and then core concepts of LLM, large language model. These things we will learn theoretically, and then we'll do some lab session also to understand those concepts better. Like you can create a simple neural network, which is also called feed forward neural network, to understand how it works. Then you can use the simple model to solve a classification problem, or you can also do one more example to solve a regression problem, so that you should be very comfortable in the basic concepts of neural network. And then you create, once you complete the LLM part, you create a small LLM based on the transformer architecture using PyTorch framework. So this much we will cover into first month. It should take around 30 hours, 1 hour daily. Mostly it is theory and very few labs we will do it, just to understand the concepts. You should spend around 30 or not more than that, although you can easily spend 150 hours in this, and that may feel less. But then because we want to move to GenAI, learning generative AI concepts or AI agents, we will keep to the minimum, and around 30 hours we will try to cover all the basic concepts. So that much, if you already understand how to learn, and then you can move to month 2. I will just explain in a little more detail here what topics in detail we can cover in this month. But if you are already aware, you can move to the next month section. So first thing what you need to do, we need to go through all these concepts, understand properly, especially we will deep learning, because this is where this neural network implementation started, and even generative AI models, which are based on transformer architecture, that is a type of neural network, right? So we have to understand this neural network concepts properly. What we need to understand about the neural network, like if you see this image, this is a single neuron. This is the simplest form of neural network, where we have a single neurons. Like what is input, what are weights, what are biases, those activations functions, different activations function are there, and what is output layer. So these things or these concepts you need to go through and understand what are these input layer, hidden layers, output layers, and how it works. How when you input something and what you get some result and it goes through the different layers, how it works, that you need to understand. And then there is a very important concept, backward propagation. And through backward propagation, any neural network model learn how to predict correct results. So that process you need to understand. There also uh, you will come to know about the gradient descents. So that concepts also it will come into picture. So basically what important concepts you need to learn here about the neural network. You need to learn about the input layer, hidden layer, output layer, then activation functions, forward propagation, then some information about the loss function, because it measures the error first time during the training when your model gives you the output. So how much error it is, and then backward propagation, chain rule, all this comes into pictures. It update the model weights, and then it again improve its accuracy or output results. So these process, if you learn, you will have good knowledge about the um, neural network, right? Then just go through these different types of neural network, like feed forward neural network, CNN uh, neural network, RNN is a recurrent neural network, then LSTM, long short-term memory neural network, then finally transformer architecture. We have to spend more time learning about transformer architecture. That is what we want to learn, because all the LLMs are based on, in general, based on transformer architecture one, what we see nowadays. Although conceptually it can be based on other architecture, but mostly it is what we talk about nowadays, that is based on the transformer architecture. So we have to learn a transformer architecture properly. We will learn in the next section. Okay. So this transformer architecture we need to learn properly. This, and when you are learning, as we discussed, learn something about RNN and LSTM. So you will be able to appreciate the transformer architecture, especially this is transformer architecture. There's a paper which is very important paper. Attention is all you need to know. That's you need to go through if possible. Although there are different articles which explain those concepts. Here, very important thing is every transformer architecture. When we talk about the transformer architecture, it contains two main components: encoder and decoders. Only those LLMs which are based on decoder architecture are generative models. Some models are based on encoder architecture only. They are not generative AI models like BERT. They can be used for classification and regression problem, not for generation problem. That's we need to know about. Then there are very few important concepts when we talk about the LLM concepts. Tokenization, how whatever you gives input, it is converted into tokens, and then embedding, and then positional encoding is applied. After this, your LLM is able to understand it. Some more things what you need to understand, why these models are called LLM, right? Because these are trained on huge data. It has very large number of parameters, a million, billions, even trillions, like GPT-4, 5. It usually uses transformer architecture. Right? Then you need to go in detail about the three different phases of LLM: pre-training, post-training, inference. Pre-training, that time we decide about this vocabulary. Post-training, um, it can be fine-tuned. That's an inference when you communicate with the LLM, like you chat GPT, that is inference. Then there is a difference between base model and fine-tuned model. Just try to find out that more about those. Like a base model gives is a general kind of data uses. Fine-tuned model uses task specific data. General model basically learn language and you fine tune it to perform some specific task. But then you need to go in detail. And I'm not uh, explaining those topics. I'm just giving a hint what you need to learn. Okay. Then lab section, you write one simple neural network, then you will come to know how this forward propagation works, how backward propagation works, how gradient descent works, and the concepts related to it. You can utilize use this application to solve one. You can use this network neural network to solve one regression problem, one like predicting house prices. You can solve a classification problem, whether that email is spam or not. So those can be solved using these. Those problem can be solved using this neural network. Okay, so that you need to practice. And then once you learn about the LLM and transform architecture, write a small LLM and just try to train it, run it, check how vocabulary size created. So you will get good grasp of the LLM concepts. So this is what we had for month 1. I hope fine till now. So till now in month 1, we have just learned the basic concepts. Whatever 1, 2 lab session we have done, that's main purpose is to understand those concepts. Now we will move to creating some application. And what we need to learn in this, you need to learn prompt engineering. You need to learn LangChain framework where we create applications, GenAI applications, agents, RAG-based applications. So RAG fundamental you need to learn. Then, because we are now started developing this application, so if you know how to use GenAI tools, it will be easier for you to develop the application. You don't need to write code, every line of the code. Like you should use GenAI GitHub Copilots. Also, Cursor ID is very good for writing these kind of applications. You also need to explore Hugging Face platform where you get different kinds of knowledge, like they find data sets which you can use in your applications for training of the LLM. You can see different features related to the LLM, because this is in simplest way, it is a repository of LLM. So you can find all the LLM, you can deploy it from there. Even you can download free LLM and lot of features. So you need to explore over there. You will find information related to this, your GenAI things. Then, because you will use your LLM in your applications, and as we talked in the prerequisite, we have access or subscription of OpenAI or Azure cloud. So we will deploy some LLM and use its credential in our applications. Right? So if we are able to go through all those things, then we have to do some lab. So to actually create some application, like you can create one intelligent app using LangChain framework. How you can create it? You deploy on LLM, write Python codes, and use its credential to create one applications. The same way you can create AI agents. You can create some tools and then use LLM, whatever you deploy, and create some agent using LangChain framework. Then you can also create some RAG-based applications or chatbot where you also need to use vector databases. So we need to learn something about vector databases also. And because we have learned prompt engineering, try to use prompt template for a few of your applications or for different use cases. So you will be comfortable with prompt engineering. Okay, so this much what this required a little bit more time. You should spend at least 2 hours daily or around 60 hours per month. It all depends on you how you spend it. You can spend 6 hours Saturday, 6 hours Sunday, kind of whatever the way you want, right? But it will require more time, and at least 60 hours we need to spend for this. If you understand, you can move to the month 3. Here I will explain in little more detail what we need to learn in all the topic. Prompt engineering, you need to learn basic of prompt engineering, prompt design principle. There are different techniques: zero shot, few shot, chain of thought prompting. Then role prompting is there. How you can get a structure output, that, and prompt templates. So these things you need to learn. Hugging Face, as I told you, you need to go and explore it. There are different data set available, transformer library available. Hugging Face Hub is there. So this is Hugging Face looks like this. You see, You can have different models, you can have different data sets. So you need to log in and explore it, right? Then LangChain framework. LangChain framework is one of the most simplest framework where you can start creating your applications. And it has a few very important components like model, prompts, chain, memory, indexes, tools, and agents. You need to learn about all of it. How you can learn? You can go through this LangChain official document website. You can get a lot of good information over there. Then we have to learn about the RAG fundamental, retrieval augmented generation. Most of the chat-based application nowadays, you see, that is based on this RAG concepts. Here, many core components we need to learn, like data loader, chunking strategy, embedding, vector databases, retrievers. So these concepts we need to learn. First, we will learn basic, or which is standard kind of things. What is this? So if you see, there are mainly two components are there. First, you need to upload data into vector database. That is called ingestion pipeline. Right? So here, what we did, we have taken one document that we split, or we use chunking a strategy, converted into embedding, and put into the vector database. Right. So this is first part of vector database. This way we put our own database into vector. Then second part, when user make any query go to the vector database, because we already have required data, information over there. So it retrieve the information, augment on the user query and system prompts, and give it to LLM. Then we get the required output. RAG application basically why it is used. It is used to get the specified data, like if you want information related to specifically from your company HR, or it will not get through normal chat GPT, and so it doesn't have those data with it is not trained on those data. So what we need to do, we need to put those data into our own custom database, and that we use in our application to get those kind of information. So this is RAG. You need to explore more. This is just hint. And we need to, as we discussed, we need to deploy LLM. We can use Azure AI Foundry. You can deploy LLM in OpenAI also. And that we need to know how we can do it. If you see, this is OpenAI, right? You need to give subscription there. Once you can generate key and secret, and that you can use in your applications, right? The same way, if you see, this is a Microsoft Azure AI Foundry. There you can deploy whatever the LLMs you want, and you can use it in your applications. You will be able to get its credential once you deploy. And we can also use different GenAI tools which can help you in development, deployment, and other purpose, like GitHub Copilot, Cursor ID you can use, Amazon Code Whisper also you can use. It is specifically to AWS based development. So those part was we have discussed now what we are able to develop application, but still it is not up to the production level, right? So now we have to move a step ahead and need to create production ready AI system, right? So what we need to learn for this? Mostly nowadays we have multi-agent or agentic AI applications for different purpose that will be developed by not LangChain using LangGraph. So we need to learn LangGraph. Then what RAG we have learned till now, that is the basic RAG, which is maybe good for learning purpose, but real life we have different kinds of data, different kinds of chunking strategy we need to use, different kinds of embedding model we need to use for those things, and different kinds of retrieval also. So we need to learn all different kinds of things and use based on our use case. There are different types of RAG. There is a agentic RAG, hybrid RAG, adaptive RAG. There are more than 30 kinds of RAG. So we need to go through it, not all of it, but at least some of it, and then we'll see what is suitable for your use case that you need to apply. Then MCP, Model Context Protocol, that you need to understand what is Model Context Protocol and how to use it. Then Hugging Face Split Forum, we have already discussed. and how to deploy LLMs and your production area AI system that we have to learn, and how what labs we can do for this month three. You can build a multi-agent applications. You can create an application where you have model context protocol concepts implemented. You can create few advanced RAG based applications. So these things you need to use it. It will also require some time, at least 2 hours daily it require, and you have to spend at least 60 hours for this purpose. Then you will get hold of it. Now we'll go in little detail all related to all the concepts what we have just discussed for month three. Like land graph, you should go through its core concepts like node, age, state graphs, and also it has some other framework attached to it, like Lang Smith is also that also you need to learn. How you can learn it? You can go through that its official website. From there you can learn it. There are other way to learn it also, tutorials and other channels. Then, as I was talking about advanced RAG, there is a different things we need to learn. Better retrieval mechanism. There's re-ranking. There are different chunking strategy. There context compression is there. Query transformation is there. Agentic RAG is there. Knowledge graph RAG is there. Performance optimization. A lot of things are there. RAG is there is a lot of scope to learn. There's learning curve in this, especially in advanced RAG. Earlier we have talked about this. I'm just talking about the ingestion pipeline. We just uploaded one document with the fixed word chunking and then used embedding text embedding model and put into the vector database. But those were the simple things just to learn the concepts and use for POC kind of things. But if you develop a real production level applications, so there are a lot of things we need to take care of when you're designing RAG applications. Like for loader, there is a file-based loader, the database loader, API loader, there are different kinds of things. You have chunking strategy. If you see, there's a fixed size chunking, cementing chunking. There's a more things, few things only you can see here in that even on this slides. There are many more. You need to explore those concepts. Right? There is different kinds of embedding. There is different kinds of vector database. So these things need to be explored, and as per your use case that you have to decide. So unless you have knowledge how you can find out the best way to develop one advanced RAG application. So this is very necessary to go through all the available concepts related to this. Then there is a model context protocol. We have to understand what is model context protocol, its architecture, especially 2-3 things you need to understand here, like MCP server, MCP client, MCP application related to this. Then you will be able to understand that okay, this is just a wrapper on API, what we are using to communicate to the external services and tools. So it is very necessary we do some labs related to this. Then using prompt injection, jailbreaking, there are different techniques related to it. So basically, guardrail, guard your applications or secure your applications. So you need to get some more detail on this and implement in your application when we are designing application for production deployment. And we also have to learn different deployment techniques related to whatever the application we have developed, how vector databases are deployed, how LLMs are deployed, right? Some CI/CD application, CI/CD means continuous integration and continuous deployment of AI applications and monitoring and observability. Those concepts we need to learn. And now the things how to learn all those things. There's not a simple 1-2 concepts. There are many different concepts. We need to learn just to learn this GenAI things. So the best way is you should join a good paid course. There are different courses, like some of the courses are 11, 12 months, some are 3 months, some are 6 months, some are 1 month. So basically, I think 3, 4 months, any course which is good and for 3, 4 months, that would be very good to go ahead with. In case that you are not able to do, still I would suggest you learn in a community, means with some a group of people. It will be very helpful because many concepts related to this, when you yourself go through the videos, articles or tutorials, you will not, first time at least you will not understand it properly. You will feel like you're able to understand, but then there is some gaps will be there. So if you discuss with other, it will help you to clarify those gaps. If you actually want to do self-learning, so there is a very good book, Neural Network and Deep Learning by Michael, that you can get it free online. And there is this books I'm talking about. There's a YouTube, Three Blue, One Brown, very good YouTube channel where you can learn about neural networks and other concepts. Then there's a build large language model from scratch by Sebastian, and this is one of the best book you can go through about large language model. Will have very good clarity and good concepts about large language model. Once you finish this book, then there's a paper. Attention is all you need. That you can go through. LangChain LangGraph we have already seen. We can learn from the official websites and the different concepts. RAG, agent, multi-agent, MCP. You can take at least some paid online uh, courses for from Coursera or other channels. So this way, I think we can learn all these things. The three different way I told you. You can get paid course. You can learn with a group of friends, or you can do self-learning also. Continuously learning for so long period of time consistently, that I think very few people will be able to do it. So what we have discussed till now, we we have to learn these three things: how will LLM understand language, what are different basic foundational AI concepts, how to build real-world LLM applications, how design production ready AI system, and how to learn all those things. These we have discussed, and how to learn those things. This we have discussed. Total time, it should take around 150 hours minimum, and this will give you a good basic knowledge and hands-on practice of GenAI and Agentic AI. What next? Even after doing those things, there are a lot of other things you can do. You can create some three real world projects. And I would suggest there are different concepts attached to it. The RAG-based, Agentic AI, LLM ops, deployment. Try to be specialized in at least one of the these concepts that you focus more, so you will have some better knowledge than other. Then we have talked only about two frameworks, LangChain, LangGraph, but every company doesn't use the same framework. You can learn different framework like CrewAI, AutoGen, Semantic Kernel, Microsoft Agent Framework. But if you are comfortable with the one framework, learning other framework will be very easy and it will take less time. And if you have more time, so you must go through different papers related to RAG, different neural network architectures. There are lots of good books you can go through, and that will make you expert in